Deep within Duskwallow Marsh, in the Dragon Murk, sits a cave, home to a scheming trickster and manipulator. She once held everyone's Tier 2 helms. She was large, so it wasn't super easy without pants and pockets, but she held them. Her vile machinations sought to bring down the Alliance from within, and together, with her brother Nefarian, Onyxia, the Broodmother, would go forward and shake the foundation of Azeroth. Until we showed up and did some smiting. Tell him, Gandalf!
I threw down my enemy and smote his ruin upon the mountainside.
Onyxia, the broodmother of the Black Dragonflight. Technically, not true, because her mother was still alive, but only as a mythic boss. But that makes Syntharia being alive canon. We already covered Nefarian, but a quick recap. Daddy Deathwing gets a smackdown. Big bro Nefarian's like, yo, let's take over the planet. Whoa, we're better than Dad anyway. And Onyxia's like, oh my god, okay bro, I like totally wreak havoc. It's like totally fun. Then she went back to texting, and that was it. Nefarian eventually got smashed, but before we did that, and by we, I mean the Alliance this time, went after Onyxia. While Nefarian did his sciencey stuff, Onyxia went an even more devilish route. Onyxia became a politician. So with her power suit on, Onyxia set out to corrupt the city of Stormwind and bring it down from the inside. She, like all dragons, can take human form and gave herself the name Catarana Prestor, or Lady Prestor if you're nasty. This was an alias used by her father back in the day. Onyxia, as Catarana, once held the highest noblest position in Stormwind, and she used her considerable power to keep much-needed aid from the burning steppes, so that Nefarian could go and continue growing his power. Her ultimate goal was to gain full control of Stormwind. In order to succeed, she needed to remove the current king, Varian Wrynn, and luckily for her, the nobles of Stormwind swiped their credit card one too many times and built up a huge debt, increasing their military influence in places like Elwyn and Stranglethorn Vale. With no money left to pay the Stonemasons Guild, who had spent years rebuilding Stormwind after the war. Catarana had spread her influence through the city, playing both sides like a boss, telling the nobility that the Stonemasons did a really crappy job, and telling, in turn, the Stonemasons that their work was worth way more money. Varian had attempted to negotiate with both parties, but the damage had been done. Varian also kind of figured out that Catarana was really working both crowds, if you get what I'm saying. Eventually, things popped off when the Stonemasons received a smaller amount than what they were owed.
We want more money.
This led to riots, and in these riots, Varian Wynn's wife, Queen Tiffin, began an intimate relationship with a stone.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Varian, post his wife's death, became depressed, and Onyxia was like, oh boy, here I go manipulating again, and did some fancy magic, making Varian a lazy king. So very lazy. Gradually her spell weakened because Varian was like, my dead wife, but I still got a baby boy. As he dragged himself out of the curse, he took back control of Stormwind. This led to a meeting between Varian and Thrall, per the suggestion of Jaina Proudmourne. And further convinced by Golden Boy Anduin, Catarana was like, hey, don't do that, like, pay attention to me. Like, oh my god, don't listen to them. She's like stupid and like not even pretty, and he's just like your son, he's like a baby, pay attention to me. But that failed, so she went back to doing what she does best, scheming. Catarana made a deal with the Defias Brotherhood to kidnap Varian, and even though their first attempt failed, they eventually got him. Varian was taken to Alkaz Island, where Onyxia and her bestest friends had a little sleepover. They did each other's nails, and talked about boys, and cast dark magic, splitting certain named kings of Stormwind into two beings. You know, the normal stuff. It's what every girl does at a slumber party, right? Once the spell was cast, Varian awakened next to a clone of himself that was the strong-willed side, strong boy Varian, that Onyxia intended to kill, leaving behind the weak shell as her little puppet. Varian was saved when Morgalla Dusksquall attacked with her Naga. In the fray, the strong Varian broke free and began with the fighting. Just straight brawling, just like Varian do. Strong Varian tried to get Weak Varian to get up and join the party, but Weak Varian declined, and while paying attention to this pussy version of himself, Strong Boy Varian was sent flying off a cliff and captured by Naga. Onyxia believed he was dead and was like, oh my god, like, that's so perfect. In the interim, Anduin was given the crown, and this was due to Catarana Prester's endless nagging. High Lord Bolvar Foredragon acted as Regent Lord on behalf of Anduin. During all of this, warnings came of Blackrock orcs allying with the Black Dragonflight, but Bolvar said, nah, I ain't sending no troops without no proof. Lucky, you Alliance adventurers were there, and you answered the call. Heading to Lady Prestor, who was super smart on like dragon stuff, Catarana in short said, no. Solomon, who had given the warning, was stupid and advised against military aid. Bolvar, being all high and mighty, wasn't going to just let that go, so he deputized you Alliance players and said, go solve my problem, kid, thanks, bye. The questline here is very long, and there are two different ways of gaining the Drakefire Amulet, one for both the Horde and the Alliance. If you want me to cover them in a separate video, let me know in the comments below. So Varian eventually returns home, but he was pompous and kind of obsessed with Catarana. He didn't care about his people, and he just wanted to spend fat stacks. He even dismissed Magni Bronzebeard's requests for troops to fight the Dark Iron Dwarfs. Magni was all like, yo Bolvar, your boy's whipped, and peaced out. Meanwhile, Strong Varian, now going by Logosh, was found to be alive, fighting in a gladiator arena, leading Catarana to send assassins after him.
Are you not entertained?
They failed, and Logosh eventually showed up in Stormwind. Catarana tried to have him executed, but failed, and she was revealed to be the one, the only Onyxia. A big old battle broke out, and Onyxia kidnapped Anduin, telling Varian like, oh my god, I'm gonna like totally eat him, come and like get him, lol. Varian did just that, and in the battle, he was fused back together when Strong Boy Varian jumped in front of Weak Boy Varian, as Onyxia cast the same spell she was going to use to kill him. Having two Varians made the spell work oddly enough in reverse, and after a moment, OG Varian was back. He quickly impaled her with Charlemagne, putting an end to her scheming. Now both Ragnaros, Nefarian, and Onyxia come back during Cataclysm, and I plan on covering the first two in their part 2 videos, but not Onyxia, no. Going to break the norm, but let's be real. Nefarian pretty much just brought her back as a zombie dragon. She had nothing going on besides really looking cool and being a throwback. So canonically, Varian kills Onyxia, but as we all know, that's not true, because we all did it. I'll give you Alliance players this one, since us Horde folk already got 2 under the belt. See? There they are. Much like her brother, she does all the interesting giant dragon things. What things do they do?
Let's check out the brand new 2015 Black Dragon.
No. Not again. Go sit your goblin ass down. Yes, claws, tail whip, blah blah blah. Her interesting mechanics consist of flying in the air, spawning a bunch of babies that we slaughter, and flying in a straight line breathing fire. Phase 3, she gets desperate and starts fearing us. Nothing really super fancy. Was a difficult fight at the time, but mostly due to it being new. Okay, Onyxia's got a pretty meaty background, and this was a real quick overview of it. But she's fairly evil, and she's not just take over the world evil, like she had a man's wife killed, she ripped his personalities in two, she was trying to dismantle a kingdom slowly from the inside, where Nefarian uses his science as his hammer, Onyxia used the scalpel. She played the long game, which was a sign of a truly shady evil villain. Onyxia rates 9 out of 10. She was twisted, intelligent. It's sad that we never got to see what would have happened even if she was successful, but hey, those tier 2 helms, they were just too damn fresh. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that Onyxia rated high enough? Or did you want her to have a 10 out of 10? If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me out. Also, comment down below and tell me who your favorite big bad is. You can also follow me on Twitch, where I stream Mythic Rating and sometimes random other stuff. Links are in the description below. Take it easy. Alright, we're just going to cut the black here and...
Whoa. First off, why didn't I get a dramatization section? The other 2 did. Am I not good enough? Secondly, I do not talk like a ditzy valley girl whose daddy bought her a fancy car. I am an educated and very well-rounded dragon who has dreams and aspirations, and you stupid people just keep killing me.
お前はもう死んでいる。